Hello! Welcome to episode 152 of Levels Plus Whenever. We're gonna get into Donkey Kong Bananza today. But first, I've got some pickups for you. I got some stuff from my Nintendo. So I got the Splatoon, Zelda, keychains, the Mario Villains ornament from last year, and the Super Mario Bros. 2 metallic plaque, or whatever they're calling it. I got this because this was the first game I ever bought for myself, and I don't have it in a box anymore, so it's just kind of a nice little nod to that era of my gaming interests. And then I also got the Jamie amiibo on sale. Jamie's not my favorite character in Street Fighter 6, but I feel for 20 bucks in the quality of the amiibo, it was worth it. That's it. That's all I got. Thanks to IGN for recording some gameplay with nothing else on the screen, so I can have that in the background for a little bit as we talk about Donkey Kong Bananza. My current game of the year. And let me briefly explain why I would pick it over Clair Obscur. So, without rehashing spoilers from that game, I had mentioned that I really enjoyed so much about Clair Obscur, but there was a couple narrative character decisions that I thought might be considered a miss. With Donkey Kong Bananza, it's a very different style of game. You are Donkey Kong. He doesn't speak. But he is super emote, like you just saw there with him reacting to the banana. The expressions are fantastic, and I don't think it's a big spoiler at this point since it was in the Bananza Direct. Pauline is fantastic in this game as well, very well voice acted, provides a lot of the character dynamics that I really, really enjoyed in this game. But, we'll be honest, the story and the characters are not really what sells Donkey Kong Bananza as much as a game like Clair Obscur. It's going to be more down to how the game feels and how fun the moment-to-moment gameplay is. More so with a platformer than with a role-playing game. And I think this is where Donkey Kong Bananza really shines, is that it is the sequel to Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction that I have been craving for 20 years, honestly. I don't remember when I got Ultimate Destruction. It would have been after its release. I think my friend gave me his copy around 2008, maybe 2007. I don't quite remember. I traded it for Mega Man Anniversary Collection. I definitely got the better deal. That game was fantastic because it had a sense of chaos in its moment-to-moment gameplay that just felt so good. And what Nintendo has done 21 years later is come back to that degree of destruction, that degree of chaos, and put Donkey Kong in it, and put in so much more destructible environments, so much more in terms of enemy concepts and designs that challenge Donkey Kong's moveset in creative ways, and adds in bonanzas that give you special moves for a limited time. But the game doesn't lock that away behind like really exhaustive meter building. You can get bonanzas pretty fast in this game. So the fact that you have the ability to transform into different modes to do different things is not like a rare occurrence. It I was in Bonanza mode an awful lot in this game, and just collecting gold gets it back. There's gold everywhere. You knock it out of enemies, you knock it out of the environment. It's a grand time. It's a really grand time. And you can just kind of get a sense already just watching some of this gameplay that the moveset Donkey Kong has, while fairly simplistic, it's just punching in a few different directions, grabbing things, slapping the ground to try to find hidden objects, and then when you get Pauline, she can sing and transform you. It works so well. The game doesn't need to continually unlock standard moves because the game is so well designed around Donkey Kong's base moveset and expands upon it with, for the most part, smartly designed Bonanza transformations, that it all really just comes together to create an ingenious degree of fun. I spent so much time just punching things, particularly in Kong Bonanza mode, just because it felt good. It felt good to wander around and just punch through the earth, making tunnels all throughout the various regions, trying to find banana gem. What are they called? Bonanzium gems? The villains are good. I can't talk about all of them without some spoilers. But I do think that the new characters that they added are quite solid. The bosses are probably the weakest link in Bonanza, if I could be honest. And we'll go ahead and take a little pause. Mainly because Donkey Kong's punch first, ask bananas later approach to combat really makes boss fights trivial, because you can just kind of rush in and smack things for the most part. There's only a couple instances where that is not advised, or it is impossible to do because of the way the game design handled that particular boss encounter, mainly because they are being super dodgy. But a lot of the bosses in this game are literally walk up and smack, and once you do that a couple times, it's suddenly over. Is that a problem? I didn't really think it was, but if you are expecting some challenge in Donkey Kong, it's not going to be with the bosses until you get to like the boss rushes towards the post game. And that's just the nature of this game, and I'm fine with it. I think all the regions look great. I really enjoyed several of the regions in this game. Some of them are super creative. Some of them are pretty generic in terms of the idea. Like, it's an ice world. But the way Nintendo approached it with this game is that it is, yes, it's an ice world, but it is super focused on ice cream and cold treats, to the point that there's like chocolate as a part of the level. So they do approach things with the standard level tropes of platformers with some novel concepts that I really think elevate them above and beyond just your standard bog level that you would see in most platformers. Like if Mario did an ice level, it's going to be pretty traditional. But here they flexed a bit, and I really appreciate that. Music is really good. Pauline's songs in particular are all top-notch. Every single one. There is not a dud in all of Pauline's songs. And a lot of the level themes are pretty good. Honestly, though, the Bonanza themes are going to be what people remember from this game, as well as some of the nostalgic tracks you can get in the bonus levels, and our callbacks in other areas. Those Donkey Kong Country tracks and even Donkey Kong arcade tracks are really solid and really fun. But the level tracks are just kind of background, honestly. They're not as memorable, and it's probably because you're going to switch into Bonanza mode a lot, and those are where they put like 90% of their musical energy. The game sounds phenomenal. It's such a good sounding game. Some of the best sound design I think I've come across, because there's just so many different things that react to Donkey Kong hitting it or slapping his feet on it. Exploding. It's a delight on the ears for sure. And visually it's very strong. It's got a great art design. It's got some hiccups on frame rate here and there. You can see the voxel design aesthetic that they used for the destructible environments show its face fairly often. And there's odd bits, like bits of platform that just kind of stay in the air after Donkey Kong knocks away the foundation. I understand the why. To add physics to everything would make the game run even more chaotically than it currently does, which is like mostly solid. It just gets tripped up once in a while. And personally, I didn't have any major issues with it. I did notice a couple frame rate dips here and there, but that's not something that I'm super attentive to. But it is clearly a game that is stretching the Switch 2 in terms of capacity already. And I'm really excited to see what Nintendo can do to further optimize the Switch 2, because this did start as a Switch game that got switched over. And I'm sure that the team is switching gears into a Mario project now and figuring out how that's going to work for fluidity. But for a game like this, where the focus is far more on smacking stuff around, I think it's fine. Because you're not necessarily needing to jump on enemies like you do in Mario. Donkey Kong's hit range is pretty wide, so you don't usually run into things on accident. It's all really, really good. It's really, really good. Trying to think what else I could touch on briefly, because I think I've hit a lot of the major things that I really enjoyed. Fantastic level design, great audio, looks delightful with a great cartoony style that just, I think, fits Donkey Kong really well. Lots of callbacks. Lots and lots of callbacks. And I am not a Donkey Kong Country fan. And even I was like, yo, on some of these callbacks. They're great. I don't think there's a region that is specifically poor. Some people aren't a big fan of a particular region where you are racing. I'll just say that. I didn't have a problem. So I guess I just either got lucky or the way that that's designed worked for my brain. Really, the boss fights are the one thing that I would say are the weakest link in Donkey Kong Bananza, because I think controls are great, camera works pretty well. I love the character interactions between Donkey Kong and Pauline. That's such a foundation for everything else. I think Pauline has a great voice actress. Donkey Kong's voice is also really good. It's really cute. I like Donkey Kong's new design a lot. I like it a lot more than the rare one. Again, I'm not a Donkey Kong Country fan. I love how expressive he is. This is just a phenomenal game. And like I said, it brought back a gameplay conceit with Hulk Ultimate Destruction's pure powerhouse gameplay that Donkey Kong just beautifully recaptures and expands upon, and is even more fun than that game. And the destructible environments add so much to the moment to moment. It is a delight to be able to just go, you know, I want to do this, and barring some particular ground types that are harder to punch through, you can, especially once you have the Kong Bananza. You can pretty much go through most things at that point. There's only a couple things that are indestructible. It's a really good game. It is easily the best thing on Switch 2 right now. And is worth the system, honestly. Donkey Kong Bananza is great. Look at this happy guy. You could be a happy guy too. You should not be inquisitive about this game. There we go. Nope, missed it. There we go. You don't need to be inquisitive about this game. This is a phenomenal platformer. A punchy platformer. There we go. That's my Donkey Kong Bananza opinion. We'll be doing some regular things in September. I've got a couple list ideas. I've got some other ideas that I want to talk about. So we're going to get back into the swing of things. I do have a book in the horizon, but I will talk about that more in the next episode because it's not quite done yet. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon. Take care, friends.